Hello, nieces and niestas. How are you today? Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you guys for coming back to the channel. I'm SavingsFashionista. And over here we do mainly things fragrance. And today we're going to talk fragrances. We're going to talk cherry fragrance. Some of them are my favorites and some of them are not so much of a favorite. But I do want to share the cherry fragrances that I have in my collection. So let's just get the bad, the ugly part. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So contrary to what most people feel in the fragrance community, from what I've witnessed, this is my least like cherry fragrance, and it is Lost Cherry from the Private Blends collection of Tom Ford. It's not that this isn't a good fragrance. I do think that it's a good fragrance. I was extremely excited about it when I first got it in my collection, but the dry down on my skin is just not so pleasant. I do not like this fragrance once it dries down on my skin, and it has to be like the resin benzoin type of notes that are in it, because there are some heavy woody notes in here that are just not mixing well with my skin. And I do believe that it's something common that is in another fragrance that I really like the fragrance, the beginning and the opening of, but the dry down, it just doesn't work for me. So some of the fragrance notes in Lost Cherry are bitter almond, black cherry, cherry liqueur, plum, sour cherry. It has a Turkish rose, jasmine sambac. It has some Peru balsam in it. It has some patchouli. It has a cinnamon note. It has that benzoin note that just does not agree with me, and it has a clove note in it. So those are some of the fragrance notes. This is a very rich cherry fragrance. This is not a playful cherry fragrance in my opinion. I do think that this cherry does give you an expensive, almost kind of like niche vibe to it. It's a really nice cherry fragrance. It's for the grown and the sexy. However, it just does not work for me. I've had this in my collection maybe a little over 3 years. I'm going to hold on to it. I have shared it and decanted. So I will put it on sometimes in conjunction with something else. But like I said, it's just not one of my favorite cherry fragrances. So again, this is Lost Cherry from Tom Ford. All right, the next cherry fragrance that I have in my collection is a cherry that I was super excited about when I first got it, and I had to really learn how to apply it because it can be a bit overwhelming if it's not applied right. And this cherry, it does have some negative commentary on it. Some people just cannot get with this cherry, but those of us who enjoy it, I think we really enjoy it. So this cherry fragrance is from the house of BDK, and this is Rouge Smoking. Look at the juice. So I do have a cute little dent in here, and I have completely been enjoying this fragrance. It's so good. This fragrance has this deep effervescent note in it, and it puts you in the mind of some type of cola or root beer or some type of beverage, some sweet soda like, but it's really nice. I really enjoy it. So some of the fragrance notes are cherry, pink pepper, bergamot, black vanilla husk, heliotrope, orange blossom, tonka bean, white musk, ambroxan, lavender, and it has a little violet in it. So like I said, you guys, this fragrance, it is more of a spicy type of cherry fragrance, and if you over apply it, it can, like cause a headache. It can be relatively extremely strong, but I do like the spiciness with the combination of sweetness that has this underlying cherry note that is just so good. So again, this is Rouge Smoking by BDK. All right, so the next cherry is from the house of KayAli, and this is Lovefest Burning Cherry 48. I was so excited at the announcement of this release, and even more excited when I got it in the mail and it joined the collection. Yeah, so when I got this fragrance, it replaced the thing that I really liked in the Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, and it eliminated the thing that I did not like. So the fragrance notes in here are burning cherry, raspberry, praline, Palo Santo, skyek wood, and patchouli. So as you can hear, there are still some very heavy woods in here. But when this fragrance dries down on my skin, it does not give me that deep, oily, benzoin, resin-like note that I don't like in the Lost Cherry. So I was really excited to have this in my collection, and I remember when I first got it, I was really wearing it. But this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. It's so pretty. It's pretty. It is one of those cherry notes that you definitely get that liquor undertone and liquor smell. And what I like about this fragrance is that it's universal. You can wear this throughout all the seasons, and you can just about wear this anywhere. It's perfect for date night. It's perfect for going out with the girls. I mean, I've even worn it to work. So it's one of those type of fragrance that has a lot of versatility in it, and it also lends itself to pair with other fragrances, and it's just really nice. I think that it's well balanced because this could very easily be a nice complement to a gentleman as well. So again, this is Lovefest Burning Cherry 48 from KayAli. All right, now the next cherry, I was really excited about this cherry when I added it to the collection because, like I said, it was another refreshing cherry that was not similar to the Lost Cherry, but it came from the same house. And this is also from the Private Blends collection of Tom Ford, and this is Electric Cherry. You know, this came out with a duo, which is the Smoke Cherry, which smells really good. And this is more of a summer spring type of cherry, and it's really beautiful. I realized in these recent times, my husband had this on with all the other stuff that he wears in his combinations. But this right here, over time, you guys, now this was very underwhelming and it did not get a lot of praise at the time of its release. But I have to say, this has gotten better on the shelf, because whenever I pair this, or when husband pairs this, I can always smell this over all the other fragrances that it is combined with, or the one or two fragrances that I may combine it with. It always outshines, and the longevity is here. It lasts long, and it's such a unique cherry. It's more of a airy cherry that has some floralness to it. So the fragrance notes are cherry, ginger, jasmine, sambac, amber, pink pepper, and musk. Now, like I said, this has gotten so much better with time. Very underwhelming when it was initially released, but it has gotten so much better with time. And husband has been putting a dent in this because I think he really likes it, and it does smell really good on him with all the other stuff that he mixes in with it. So again, this is Electric Cherry by Tom Ford. All right, now the next cherry is also more of a floral type cherry, and it does have some other fruits in it, but you can smell the cherry note inside of this fragrance. And this fragrance is from Burberry, and this is Burberry Her. I think, is this the original one? I think this is the original one. This is the Burberry Her, and this is such a girly type of fragrance. I initially was not a part of this when it was first released, or when it was really hyped. Something else led me to this, and I'm glad. I do want to add the elixir to the collection that is on the wish list. But the fragrance notes in here are strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, cherry, blackcurrant, mandarin, lemon, violet, jasmine, musk, cashmerian. It has some woody notes, some oak moss, and patchouli. So like I said, this is more of a floral cherry, and it's not heavily cherry forwarding, but you can smell the cherry if you know what you're looking for, or if your nose is trained to pull it out, because there are so many other fruity notes in here. Strawberry to be the more dominant one, but the cherry, it does let you know that it is a part of this juice. So again, this is Burberry Her. All right, the next one, I added these two to the collection late 2023. They were new releases, and I am so glad that I have these in my collection. I actually wore one of them today in conjunction with some other fragrances, but the one that I want to share with you is the Cherry Ambition by the Seven Virtues. If you have not smelled this or tried this, you need to get your hands on it. This is a really sexy cherry. Now, the Cherry Smoke by Tom Ford, this puts me in the mind of that fragrance. It smells a lot like it. This is more of a woody type of cherry and smoky. This has cherry liqueur, it has saffron, and it has a marshmallow note in it. So it does have some sweetness to it as well. And it is just so doggone sexy. It's something about this particular fragrance that is extremely craving. It is so good. This is so good. I want to say that it has like this incense note in it as well. I don't know if that's the saffron, because you know saffron has this woodiness that has this sweetness to it. So, you know, I do think that sometimes they keep some of the fragrance notes from us, but this has this smokiness to it, this woodiness, this incense-like note in it, and it's just so good. And it's very affordable. This is so good. I shared this in one of my dupes or alternatives, and I said that this will be a great dupe or alternative for the Tom Ford Cherry Smoke. What was it? Cherry Smoke. It's a great alternative for that. If you haven't checked out that video, you can click the card above. But again, this is Cherry Ambition by the Seven Virtues. All right, now the latest cherry that I've added to the collection, it is from YSL, and this is the latest flanker from the Black Opium line, and this is Over Red. Now, when I first got Over Red, I was underwhelmed too, but I am learning to just like give it the maceration period that it needs, you guys. And sometimes it takes longer than a few weeks or 2 or 3 months. Sometimes it just takes time for these fragrance notes to sell. All right, so this has grown on me in the past couple months. At first, I was like, I'm not really sure, and it could just be the way I have been mixing it and pairing it with other fragrances, and that's totally okay. Sometimes I do think that that may just be the purpose of certain fragrances. They're not meant to stand alone or even be the star of the show, but they mix so well with other fragrances. And that's how I'm feeling about Black Opium's Over Red on today. Really enjoyed this fragrance. I do think that with the right body care, this can be worn in isolation, but I prefer to layer it with other fragrances. I think that the fragrance DNA, it's befitting to be year-round. I can easily see myself wearing this in the spring and summer months, but I really enjoyed this today, you guys. And I'm glad that I do have it in my collection. So again, this is Black Opium's Over Red by YSL. So you guys, those are all the cherry fragrances that I have to share with you today. I do think I want to add a few more cherry fragrances to my collection. I have like 2 on my wish list that I want to add, and we'll just see as the collection grows. If you have some cherry fragrance recommendations or some of your favorite cherries, or if you are fond of any of the cherries that I just shared with you, you can leave those comments below. The thumbs up, the comments, sharing the video, it does help with the analytics of the channel, and I greatly appreciate you guys. I want to thank you very much, Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say it enough. I know it sounds redundant, but that's just how much I mean it. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next video. And do not forget, you, yes, you are great. Bye-bye.